And we begin with some breaking news coming to us out of Myanmar, and Aung San Suu Kyi is being moved to house arrest. She was detained by the military alongside dozens of senior politicians on Monday at an undisclosed location. Power is now in the hands of General Min Aung Hlaing, who's appointed his own cabinet. The military says its takeover is only temporary and it's promising free and fair elections in a year. Well, the crisis is being discussed by the UN Security Council in New York. It's holding an emergency meeting right now to decide on an international response and possible sanctions. Many are condemning the coup, but China has consistently vetoed punitive measures against Myanmar in the past. Our diplomatic editor James Bays has more now from the UN on Suu Kyi's detention.
We understand that she is being confined at home. She is under house arrest. That information given to the Security Council during this closed meeting, where Security Council ambassadors will now decide their next move. In front of them is a draft statement drawn up by the UK, which is the current president of the Security Council. It assumed the presidency just in the last 24 hours on the first day of the month. Now, that statement calls for all of those that have been detained to be released and calls for the country to go back to a path of democracy. It's not clear whether all the Security Council members will sign up to such a statement. In fact, what I'm hearing from diplomats is that some council members have reservations and are saying at this stage that they need further instructions from their capital. So it looks likely that the Security Council, which has a range of measures before it, ranging from statements all the way to sanctions, at this stage is likely to take no action. But that, I think, is not necessarily the final position, and we could see further Security Council meetings in the coming days.
Well, the general now in charge of Myanmar was sanctioned by the United States 2 years ago over human rights abuses against Rohingya Muslims. In 2017, the military launched a crackdown against them in the state of Rakhine. The army maintains that was an operation against an armed group. But thousands of Rohingya civilians were killed. More than 730,000 fled violence, rape and torture to neighbouring Bangladesh. The UN's top court, the International Court of Justice, is prosecuting Myanmar on suspicion of genocide. Last year, it ordered government forces to protect the Rohingya from, quote, genocidal acts. Dr. Ambia Perveen is chairperson of the European Rohingya Council and co-founder of the Rohingya Medics Organisation. She says the coup raises serious concerns for the Rohingya community.
This military coup, that is a hard hit to the young democracy. Actually, Myanmar has been suffering during this Myanmar military government, and also lately a bit of positive frontliners have happened during the NLD, but still there are a lot of things need to be improved, especially when it comes to the Rohingyas and the ethnic minorities. We hear a lot of disturbing news, especially from the Rohingyas, and we have condemned in our statement yesterday, which was released on behalf of the European Rohingya Council. And this condemn and the concerns does not mean that we stand for the Aung San Suu Kyi. Aung San Suu Kyi, under her also, Rohingyas genocide have happened under the military of Myanmar, and it continued under Aung San Suu Kyi or the NLD leadership. Aung San Suu Kyi went to the ICJ and defended the military regime and the crimes and the genocide happened against the Rohingyas. But we, as people of Myanmar, the Rohingyas, feel people of Myanmar, our brothers and sisters there, the sufferings that they have been going through, and then we fear of the mass abuses will happen under this government, and we really fear about our Rohingyas, what will happen next. We are planning to repatriate, and then after this coup, will this repatriation will happen? If it happens, we go to the criminals back to these people.
OK, let's take you live now to a court in Moscow, because any moment now we are expecting a verdict from that courtroom in the Russian capital over whether the opposition leader Alexei Navalny will go to jail soon, imminently. He faces 3.5 years in connection with a parole violation going back to 2014.